Hey, what is going on, guys? Today I am sharing with you 5 amazing Assetto Corsa car mods. We have some super cool stuff on today's list, from some vintage racing cars, modern day hypercars, and even a jet-powered car. Yes, you heard that right, a jet-powered car. Before we get into it though, I'd like to give a quick shout out to my second channel, JC Racing. If you want to see some broader sim racing content besides just Assetto Corsa mods, that will be your one-stop shop for it. You can find that down in the top link in the description below. But without further ado, let's get right on to the first car mod on today's list, and that is the 1998 Toyota Prius RM. This is a super interesting car. This is made by Nix Dectara over on Race Department. In Gran Turismo 2, this Toyota Prius was one of the cars in the game. However, in the game, it didn't have any upgrades you could do to it, so it was pretty, damn useless. It's a Toyota Prius. But in the game's files, there was actually this version of the car, the Toyota Prius RM, or a racing modification. And this has been a car that, while you couldn't necessarily really play it in Gran Turismo 2, we now have it here in Assetto Corsa to mess around with. And I think the story of this car is just super duper cool. It has 320 brake horsepower, 291 newton meters of torque. It weighs 980 kilograms. You could find this car down in the link in the description below. I highly recommend you give it a shot, especially if you're an OG Gran Turismo fan. Next up on the list for all of my European sports car, hypercar fans, this is the 2022 Lamborghini Huracan Trofeo Evo 2. This is made by FX and it's in version 1.0. It has 700 brake horsepower, 696 newton meters of torque. It weighs 1,376 kilograms. If you're a motorsports fan, I'm sure at some point you've heard of the Lamborghini Super Trofeo, which is a race car. This is the road car version, just the normal Trofeo, and it's also a hybrid as well, which is pretty interesting. V10 hybrid. I guess the hybrid gives it more torque, so we can let it slide for now. But yeah, what a cool looking car. I love how this thing looks. I've always been just a fan of Lamborghini style, and call me an immature child, but I just really love how this thing looks. You can find it down in the link in the description below. Next up, we're throwing it over to a car that I'm sure not everyone's gonna have a deep interest in, but I always like to cover these when they pop up. This is the 1906 Renault AK Grand Prix car. This is made by Historic Sim Studios. They make a ton of fantastic retro classic racing cars and tracks. This thing has a whopping 90 brake horsepower, 532 newton meters of torque. It weighs 1,000 kilograms. This thing was a race car in its day. This thing is, of course, very pre-war, made not much after the car itself was invented, but super unique. And if this is your thing, these kind of pre-war cars, this will definitely be one you need to check out. You can find it down in the link in the description below. The next car is another Toyota. This is the 2021 GR86 Performance. This is a right-hand drive version as well, so if you're a European, you want a right-hand drive version. I do know we have the left-hand drive version here in Assetto Corsa. We have quite a few GR86s, but I did want to cover this one regardless. This is once again made by FX. It has 390 brake horsepower, 410 newton meters of torque. It weighs 1,251 kilograms. It's been, of course, upgraded a little bit, and this thing is pretty damn cool. It's got some aftermarket wheels on it as well, so if you're into taking screenshots, this will be a nice car to add to your collection. I actually quite like how the GR86 looks, so I enjoy this car. It probably wouldn't be a car I'd want to own in real life, but still very cool nonetheless. And it's kind of that modern day MX-5, if you will, that kind of entry level, more budget friendly. Not that many new cars are budget friendly today, but you know, more of a budget sports car, and I can always respect that. You can find this one down in the link in the description below. The final car on today's list is by far the most unique. This is the Renault Etoile Filante. I hope I said that right. It's a bunch of French words, so fingers crossed. This is a jet-powered car, so when you start driving this thing, you're going to hear some airplane noises. It's going to be a little weird, but yes, that is a jet engine in the back of this thing. It was made in 1956, so a pretty old car. It has 270 brake horsepower. It weighs 1,025 kilograms. Of course, for torque, it doesn't really have a ton, but this thing revs sky high, going up to 20,000 RPMs, of course, being a little jet engine back there. And man, just what a unique car as well. It's definitely designed to go pretty quick in a straight line. It's got a very aerodynamic, slopey body. Not a ton of downforce on this thing, of course, so if you're trying to take it through a corner, you're really going to have to slow down. But a super fun and interesting car nonetheless, and you should really try it out. It's made by Nugget over on Race Department. You can find this one down in the link in the description below. But yeah, that's all I really have for you guys today. If you did enjoy this video, a like and a sub would mean a lot. Once again, be sure to check out my second channel, JC Racing. I'm going to have a lot more content coming over there pretty soon, especially with the iRacing rain update coming in the beginning of March. I really want to prepare the channel for it, so be sure to check that out. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Have a good one, guys.